Thank you once again for watching my video. My name is Mr. Charles Monikin. In this video tutorial, we will discuss types of tantalum capacitor. But before I proceed with this video, please, I would like to say, if you like my video, subscribe to my channel, comment, like, and share. Sometimes in life, many people don't know that there are three types of tantalum capacitor that are available in our labor market. Many people don't know, and I really want to tell you that there are three types of tantalum capacitor available in our labor market today. So from there, let's start from the available one. The one, because I am not going to treat each and every one of them immediately. I will be taking it one by one. After this topic, in the next week, I will also take you on another tantalum capacitor as well. So from there, we can complete the three types of tantalum capacitor that are available in our labor markets. So in that case, the one that are available right now, the first one is tantalum foil electrolytic capacitor. Tantalum foil electrolytic capacitor. The tantalum foil capacitor was introduced around 1950. It was introduced around 1950. It was available to provide more reliable form of electrolytic capacitor. It was available. It was developed to provide more reliable forms of electrolytic capacitor, which means that in this tantalum capacitor, it was produced to do the work of aluminium electrolytic capacitor could not do. That is why tantalum foil electrolytic capacitor has been introduced so that it can occupy or take that position in which aluminium electrolytic capacitor could not do. Because not only one capacitor cannot function everything in electronics gadgets. So that is the reason why tantalum foil electrolytic capacitor was introduced in around 1950. So that is the main reason why it was introduced, to do those work that aluminium electrolytic capacitor could not do effectively and efficiently. So in that case, just as I have already explained it, so without the shelf life limitation of the aluminium electrolytic capacitor, that is the reason why tantalum foil electrolytic capacitor was introduced, because there are some certain things or certain work that aluminium electrolytic capacitor could not do. So that is why the tantalum foil electrolytic capacitor was introduced, to make sure that that space has been covered effectively in each of the electronic gadgets or electronic motherboard. It was also able to develop as a result of availability of high purity tantalum foil and wire. It has to develop with it was able to develop as a result of the availability of high purity tantalum foil and wire. What I mean is this: the availability of high purity, it means that the tantalum foil electrolytic capacitor, that is the availability of the purity, being the purity of that foil and wire, because in each of them, in each of the electrolytic capacitor, generally, you must have a specific different. What makes you to be different from others? What is the reason why you were, or this will the reason why so thing has been introduced is to do the work of what the other one could not do. So the availability of the purity tantalum foils and wire is also there, because the availability is high to do that work of aluminium electrolytic capacitor could not do. So that is the develop. That was to be developed as the result of the high of availability of high purity tantalum foils and wire. And the wire that we are talking of here are the connections. The connections I'm talking about is the positive and the negative wire, being the leg of the tantalum capacitor, in which you can differentiate and mount it on any of the electronics motherboard. The purity of the material used play a major role in determining the linkage current. That is the reason why that high availability purity of the foils and wire. It means just to do what? It means to determine the linkage current of this type of tantalum capacitor. You know, every capacitor, they have what you call a linkage current. And I believe that in the next video, in the upcoming video, I will also discuss or treat about this linkage current. I will give you more details on this linkage current, because the reason why the high availability of the purity of that tantalum and that foil in terms of that tantalum is to determine the linkage current of this type of capacitor. I will explain and define what linkage current is all about in each of the capacitors that we are treating in this video. So in that case, what I want you to understand about this tantalum foil electrolytic capacitor is to determine the linkage current of this type of capacitor. Now in this case, these tantalum capacitors have a higher capacitance density than their aluminium electrolytic capacitor counterparts. It means that it has higher capacitance density than their aluminium electrolytic capacitor counterparts. What I'm saying here is that in terms of this, the capacitance density of tantalum foil electrolytic capacitor is higher than the aluminium electrolytic capacitor. That is just a short explanation of this. The tantalum capacitance density is higher than the aluminium electrolytic capacitor. Those are the paramount things that coerce the people that introduce it, just to make sure that those spaces that aluminium electrolytic capacitor could not cover, and aluminium and tantalum foil electrolytic capacitor was introduced just to cover it up, to avoid any issue on the electronics and gadget or motherboard. Because in life, one person cannot know everything, no matter how strong you are. There are some things that you don't know, and there are some things that you know. So those areas that you don't know, definitely other persons will be there to make sure that those spaces have been occupied and there will be no issue to complain about. And that is the reason why the tantalum foil electrolytic capacitor was introduced around 1950. So in that case, they can often operate at temperatures up to about 120 degrees Celsius, and therefore are often used in equipment used in extreme conditions. They are used in equipment extreme conditions. Just as I said before, there are a lot of reasons why it has been introduced. And remember that I told you that there are three types of tantalum capacitor, which not everybody is aware of it. But this particular one that was introduced around 1950 was, if I may say, it could be the first one that was introduced, and other ones will also be discussed, just to make sure that you see the difference between this foil electrolytic capacitor and the other one, because we also have the liquid and also the solid. Those are the ones that make it up to 3. But in this particular one now, what I am trying to explain here is that these are the reason why the tantalum foil electrolytic capacitor can be used, because they can often operate at temperatures up to about 120 degrees Celsius, and often used in equipment used in extreme conditions. Extreme conditions that I'm talking about here is there are some certain conditions that electrolytic capacitor aluminium capacitor cannot withstand, while the tantalum foil electrolytic capacitor will withstand this. So those are the extreme conditions that I'm talking about. So in that case, this is the image of a tantalum foil electrolytic capacitor. Though in the other liquid and also solid aspect of it, I don't think that there is any difference. They are all the same thing. The only difference is where they have been used, because each of the manufacturer, they manufacture it according to the usage and where you want to use it. But what I want to say here is, always know that tantalum electrolytic capacitor, there are 3 types, which not everybody knows that there are 3 types of tantalum electrolytic capacitor. So these are the image of it. These are the example of it, and this one here that you're seeing, that you see the capacitance value in nanofarad. Just remember what I told you. I have discussed on the unit of capacitor, nano, pico, and so on and so forth. This one is nanofarad, and this one is the maximum working voltage. I have also discussed on the working voltage of the capacitor. If you have not watched the video, please go back to my channel, watch it, and you will see the maximum working of a capacitor in each of them. So in that case, all these ones are there. Now, this symbol, this one is signified, the one that has short leg signifies the positive leg, and the one that has long leg signifies the negative leg. And you can also see from this 35 volts, this one is 35 volts, while this one is 4.7 nanofarad, while this one is 35 volts. Now you can see that there is a sign called a positive sign that is attached, is to signify that here the short leg is the positive, while the long leg is the negative. Please, if you like my video, subscribe to my channel, comment, like, and share. See you next week, the same time.